File 1A. Listening. Welcome back to the show. Today we've been discussing Teresa Gould's article, The Truth About Healthy Eating. And now it's time for you, the listeners, to tell us what you think. The lines are open, so all you have to do is call 091 344 5792 and talk to one of our operators. That's 091 344 5792. And it looks like we have our first caller, William from Manchester. Tell us what you think about the article.
Well, I'd like to say that I don't agree with the article at all. I don't eat much fruit or vegetables, and I'm perfectly healthy. I haven't been off sick from work for years. I can't remember the last time I had to stay in bed. This 5-a-day thing is a load of rubbish, really, isn't it?
Thank you, William. I think we have another caller on line 2. Kate from Newcastle. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Well, I'm sure the writer knows what she's talking about, but it isn't that easy, is it? I mean, it's hard enough to get kids to eat vegetables at the best of times, but with all these burger bars and pizza places around, it's nearly impossible. Once they get the taste for junk food, you can forget the 5-a-day, I can tell you.
Thanks, Kate. And who's our next caller?
My name's Harry, and I'm from Southampton.
And what do you think, Harry?
Well, I'd like to say that I think the article is right. I mean, the writer talks about eating a lot of fruit and vegetables, which is something that we've always done in my family. My mum's a great cook, and she's always used completely natural ingredients in her cooking, and we're hardly ever ill.
Thank you, Harry. Let's go back to line 2 again, where we've got Rosie from Cardiff. Rosie, what's your opinion?
Well, the writer seems to think that all fruit and vegetables are good for you. And I don't think that's quite right. I mean, what about potatoes? They contain a lot of carbohydrates which can make you put on weight if you aren't careful. It's even worse if you fry them. And then some fruit, like melon for example, has a lot of sugar. Personally, I think you should eat a bit of everything and not too much of one thing.
Thanks for that, Rosie. And that's all we've got time for today. We'll be speaking to the writer of the article after the break. File 1A. Pronunciation B. 1.
Fish. Chicken. Squid.
2.
Tree. Beef. Peach.
3.
Cat. Crab. Mango.
4.
Car. Carton. Jar.
5.
Clock. Chocolate. Sausage.
6.
Horse. Oar. Fork. Prawns.
7.
Bull. Cook. Sugar.
8.
Boot. Cucumber. Tuna.
File 1A. Pronunciation D. 1.
Boiled.
2.
Cabbage.
3.
Spicy.
4.
Roast.
5.
Grapes.
6.
Fruit.
7.
Baked.
8.
Melon.
9.
Aubergine.
File 1B. Listening.
Oh, I'm exhausted.
Me too. I haven't stopped all day.
Neither have I.
Oh well, I suppose it'll get easier when the children grow up.
Do you think so?
Of course. When they're older, they'll be more independent. We won't have to do everything for them anymore.
And how long will that take? 5, 6 years? Or maybe never?
Look, what's the problem, Terry?
Nothing. It's just that we never have time for each other these days. We're always with the children.
But that's what happens when you have children. It'll get better.
I don't know. My parents were talking about us going to live with them. Do you think it would be easier for us if we lived with my parents?
Well, I suppose it'd have its advantages.
Yes. I mean, for one thing, there'd always be someone to look after the children.
That sounds good.
And we could go out in the evening without the children. Just imagine that.
That doesn't really matter to me.
And there would be more people to share the housework, too. It wouldn't always be the same person who does the shopping, cleans the house and cooks the meals.
Yes, but there would be more people in the house, so there would be more work to do. Shopping and cooking for 6 isn't the same as doing it for 4.
I suppose so.
And another disadvantage is that we wouldn't have any privacy.
True.
And you know what your parents are like. They let the children do everything they want to do.
I guess you don't want to move in with my parents then?
Not really, no. Would you like to move in with mine?
No, definitely not. Actually, things aren't so bad right now.
I agree.
And the children will be older soon?
Yes, they will.
That's settled then. We're staying here.
Fine.
Make the difference between obscurity or Olympic glory.
File 1B. Pronunciation. 1.
When are you going to book your holiday?
2.
I'm not going to book the flight yet.
3.
I'm going to look online.
4.
Who are you meeting tonight?
5.
I'm meeting some friends.
6.
I'm not meeting my girlfriend.
7.
When will you get your exam results?
8.
I won't get them this week.
9.
I'll get them on Monday.
File 2A. Listening. Speaker 1.
Can I live on my salary? Well, I don't have many problems really, because I'm still living with Mum and Dad. Don't get me wrong, I give my mum some rent, but it's definitely much cheaper than living on your own. I've got quite a good salary actually. I'm a graphic designer. I don't really spend much. I buy some new clothes every now and then, and I have to put petrol in my car, of course. But apart from that, it's just going out at the weekend, really. Most of my money goes into a savings account so that I can buy my own house one day.
Speaker 2.
I find it really hard to live on my income because I've only got a part-time job. Being on my own with my daughter means that my mom has to look after her when I'm at work. At least I don't have to pay for childcare. The flat we live in is rented, so that's where most of the money goes. I don't think I'll ever be able to afford our own place because the bank won't give me a mortgage. Apart from the rent, my money goes on food and clothes for my daughter. Still, I mustn't complain. I've got a lovely daughter, and that's all that matters, really.
Speaker 3.
I think I'm quite lucky, really. I'm fairly healthy for my age. I've got enough money to live on, and I've got my children and grandchildren. When I say I've got enough money, I don't have any fancy holidays or anything like that. But I'm comfortable. I've paid the mortgage, so that's one less expense, and I haven't got any bank loans to pay either. My one little luxury is going out for lunch a few times a week with some friends. I suppose that's where most of my money goes, really, on food.
Speaker 4.
Can we live on our salaries? Well, I'm not very sure, actually. My husband is a teacher, so he doesn't earn that much. Certainly not enough to bring up 2 children. That means I have to go out to work as well. I've got a full-time job at the local supermarket. And that's our biggest problem, really, because we need someone to look after the children. Our childminder costs a fortune. We spend more on childcare than we do on our mortgage. Then there's food and new clothes for the children too. Honestly, it isn't cheap having kids these days.
File 2A. Pronunciation. B. 1.
Up. Money. Nothing. Sorry. Worry.
2.
Clock. Cost. Shopping. Dollar. Clothes.
3.
Phone. Done. Note. Loan.
4.
Horse. Or. Afford. Worse. Store. Mortgage.
5.
Bird. Work. World. Short. Worth.
File 2B. Listening.
And now to end the programme with an inspirational story, we have John to tell us about an incredible journey.
Yes, thank you, Helen. Have you ever thought about travelling around the world and trying to help people as you go? Well, that's what an American father and his 2 adopted sons are currently doing. J.D. Lewis is a single parent and a former actor. He's taken his sons, Jackson, 14, and Buck, 9, out of school for a year to make the trip with him. And their plan is to help people along the way by doing voluntary charity work.
That sounds wonderful, but it must be an expensive trip. How much will it all cost?
It's going to cost them $300,000 in total.
That's a lot of money. How did they afford it?
Well, J.D. Lewis didn't have all the money, so he set up an organisation called 12 in 12 to help raise money. And with the help of individuals and some companies, they managed to raise the money.
12 in 12? That's an unusual name. Why did he call it that?
For a very good reason. Not only is their trip going to last 12 months, but their plan is to visit 12 countries. This month they're in Australia, where they're working with the most important ethnic group in the region, the Aborigines. J.D. and his family are helping to get medical supplies to these people, who often live a long way from the major cities.
And is that the first place they visited?
Oh no, so far they have visited 7 countries. Their first stop was Russia, where they looked after babies in an orphanage in the city of Tomsk. From there, they travelled to China, where they worked with children with physical disabilities in Beijing. Then they flew to Thailand, where they helped look after the animals at the Elephant Nature Park.
What a variety of places! Where did they go next?
Their next stop was India, where they worked with children in the poorest district of the city of Hubli. Then they left Asia and flew to Africa. In Rwanda, they taught English to children who had lost their parents in the Civil War. From there, they went to Zanzibar, an island off the coast of Tanzania.
That sounds very exotic. What did they do there?
They helped families prepare an art fair, where they could sell things that they had made. Next, they went to Kenya, where they wrote and acted in a play with children who have HIV.
Wow, I bet that was very rewarding. Did they go anywhere else in Africa?
No, that was the end of Africa. From Kenya, they flew to Australia, which is where they are right now.
All that sounds amazing, but their journey isn't over, is it?
No, JD and his family still have 4 places to go: Antarctica, Paraguay, Peru and Haiti. Not only are they trying to do things to help other people, but they are hoping to learn a lot of new things themselves. And J.D. Lewis hopes that the 12 in 12 organisation will encourage other families to do what he has done with his sons.
Well, good luck to J.D. Lewis and family on the rest of their incredible journey. And that's all we've got time for tonight. Join us again tomorrow when we'll be bringing you more real-life stories.
File 2B. Pronunciation. 1,
I've been travelling all day.
2,
How long have they been going out together?
3,
She's been feeling ill since yesterday.
4,
They haven't been living here for long.
5,
We've been cleaning the house all morning.
6.
I haven't been sleeping well lately.
File 3A. Listening. Speaker 1.
One morning last winter, I was driving to work late when my mobile rang. I knew it was my boss, so I answered it. Suddenly, the van in front of me stopped because there was someone crossing the road. I was talking to my boss, so I reacted too late and my car went into the back of the van. Fortunately, I was driving really slowly at the time, so I didn't do much damage to the van, but the front of my car was a real mess. Since then, I never use my phone when I'm driving.
Speaker 2.
I was driving down to Devon one summer to visit my parents, who live in Exeter. It's quite a long journey, so I had taken my MP3 player with me to connect to the car radio. Surprisingly, there wasn't much traffic on the motorway, so I arrived in Devon quite quickly. However, I was having such a good time listening to my music that I completely missed the exit for Exeter. I didn't realise until I had gone another 30 kilometres, and so I had to turn round and drive all the way back again. It just goes to show what can happen when you aren't concentrating.
Speaker 3.
We were on holiday last year when we had a little accident. We were going somewhere we'd never been before, so we were following the instructions on my sat-nav. We heard on the radio that there'd been a big crash on one of the roads we needed to travel on, so I started adjusting my sat-nav to find a different road to take. I took my eyes off the road and suddenly we came to a corner. I saw the corner too late, so I went straight on and drove into the middle of a field. We were really lucky though, because no one was hurt.
Speaker 4.
I don't usually get up early enough to put my makeup on, so I normally put it on in my car. Well, I used to put it on in the car,
Now I wait until I get to my office. You see, I had a bit of a shock the other week when I nearly didn't stop at a zebra crossing. I was looking in the mirror instead of at the road, so I didn't see this little boy run out. To tell you the truth, I hadn't even seen that there was a zebra crossing there. I just had time to put on the brakes, and I missed the little boy by about a millimetre. I was quite shocked afterwards, though.
Speaker 5.
I was driving into town to meet my girlfriend for dinner when she sent me a text message. I decided to read it in case it was important. Anyway, the message said that my girlfriend was already at the restaurant and I wanted her to know that I was going to be a bit late. So when I stopped at a red light, I started to write a reply. But I didn't notice when the traffic lights turned green and the car behind crashed into the back of me. The driver of the car said he thought I was going to drive off, and so he moved forward and hit me. Of course, I didn't tell him I was texting.
File 3A. Pronunciation. 1.
The most relaxing way to travel is by train.
2.
The 7 hours in the airport was the least enjoyable part of the holiday.
3.
The most interesting place to visit is the museum.
4.
Flying is a lot more expensive than going by coach.
5.
They should have the party at their house. It's much bigger than ours.
6.
Scooters aren't as expensive as motorbikes.
File 3A. Pronunciation. B. 1. Jazz. J. Carriage. Journey. Rush. 2. Shower. Sh. Crash. Seatbelt. Station. 3. Jazz. J. Check-in. Passenger. Traffic jam. 4. Chess. Ch. Chemists. Coach. Departure. File 3B. Listening.
Traditionally in the UK, women have cooked more than men, but it looks as though things might be changing. According to a recent survey by a frozen foods company, nearly half of all men in this country now prepare the family meals. And they aren't just doing it because they have to, it's because they enjoy it. The survey showed that 44% of men who were questioned do all of the cooking. And surprisingly, 15% of women questioned said that they didn't know how to cook. So it seems as if men are moving into the kitchen and perhaps women are moving out. Is this good news? What do you think? Call us on 061 532 3364 and tell us your opinion. I'll give you that number again. It's 061 532 3364. And here's our first caller, Nick from Maidstone in Kent. Nick, what do you think about this new trend?
I'm really pleased to see more men in the kitchen. In fact, I'm one of them. I lost my job a few months ago, and now I do all the cooking at home. I make a different dish every day, and sometimes I meet up with my friends to exchange recipes. My girlfriend says she really likes my food, and she even thinks that I should train to be a professional chef. I'm seriously thinking about doing that.
Well, the very best of luck to you, Nick. Who's our next caller? Ah, yes, it's Eve from Bradford. Do you cook, Eve?
No, I don't,
but my husband does. He's a much better cook than me, so we decided from the very start that he would do all the cooking. And he makes some great meals, mostly curries. But there's one problem.
What's that, Eve?
He makes a terrible mess of the kitchen, and I have to clean up after him. I don't know what's worse, actually, cooking myself or cleaning the kitchen.
Oh, come on, Eve. It can't be that bad. Now I think we've got someone on line 2. Yes, it's Frank from Aberdeen. What do you think about men taking over the kitchen, Frank?
Well, I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. It seems to me that girls are getting lazier and lazier these days. It's only the older mums and grandmothers that know how to cook. I mean, how can a woman possibly get married if she can't cook? I think it's a disgrace.
Thank you, Frank. So, not all of our listeners think it's a good thing. How about our next caller, Martina from Dublin? Is it good news or bad news for you, Martina?
Good news, definitely. In my house, I do all the cooking. My boyfriend doesn't cook at all. He can't even fry an egg. I mean, we both go out to work, so why can't we share the cooking? I'm really fed up with it. I really am. But I'm really happy for all those women out there who have found a real man. I know how you feel when you have to do everything yourself.
Let's hope Martina's boyfriend is listening in there so that he knows how she feels. We'll take some more calls after the break.
File 3B. When are prepositions stressed? 1,
Who did you argue with?
I argued with my dad.
2,
Who are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at you.
3,
What are you so excited about?
I'm excited about my holiday.
4,
What are you listening to?
I'm listening to the radio.
File 3B. Pronunciation. C. 1,
The conversation was about the woman next door.
2,
The university invited a guest to speak at the meeting.
3,
I sometimes go to the theatre in the evening.
4,
We took the lift instead of walking up the stairs.
5,
The office gave me all the information I needed.
6,
The grey skirt is nice, but I prefer the black one.
File 3B. Pronunciation. C. 1,
The conversation was about the woman next door.
2,
The university invited a guest to speak at the meeting.
3,
I sometimes go to the theatre in the evening.
4,
We took the lift instead of walking up the stairs.
5,
The office gave me all the information I needed.
6,
The grey skirt is nice, but I prefer the black one.
File 4A. Listening. Speaker 1.
I suffer from asthma, and I usually carry an inhaler around with me just in case I get an attack. Anyway, I was on a work trip. I was in Paris. I had forgotten my inhaler, and I was having problems breathing. So I went to a chemist's and asked for un aspirateur, which I thought was the French word for inhaler. I realised it wasn't when the girls behind the counter looked very confused. It turned out that I had asked for a vacuum cleaner, aspirateur, instead of an inhaler, inhalateur.
Speaker 2.
I was in Istanbul with a Turkish friend of mine and we decided that we wanted to buy some bread. I wanted to try out the Turkish I knew, so I said that I would ask for it. So we found this tiny little shop and we went in. I said to the shopkeeper in my best Turkish, "Taze ergek," which I thought meant fresh bread. Unfortunately, I got the word for bread, egmek, confused with the word for man, ergek. So what I had actually asked for was a fresh young man. Luckily, my friend came to my rescue and asked for the bread correctly, but I felt a bit embarrassed.
Speaker 3.
I was 14 and I was on an exchange visit with my school in Madrid. It was the first night and I was at home with my Spanish host family, the Garcias, having dinner. We'd finished the main course and it was time for dessert. So, the wife, Maria, asked me if I'd like some fruit. I saw some bananas in the fruit bowl, so I asked for a platon, at which point the whole family looked at me strangely. They then explained to me that I'd actually asked for a large plate. Platon means large plate, whereas banana is plátano.
Speaker 4.
I was in Verona in Italy with my husband, and it was a very hot day, so we decided to get something to drink. We sat down at this cafe in the square and we looked at the menu. I decided that I would have peach juice, so when the waiter came to our table, I asked him for some succo di pesce. As soon as I'd finished speaking, he burst out laughing. He quickly apologised and explained in English that I'd asked him for fish juice and not peach juice. Fish is pesce in Italian and peaches are pesca.
Speaker 5.
I went to Corfu on holiday when I was about 15, and there were lots of beautiful Greek girls around, so I wanted to make a good impression by speaking Greek to them. So every morning when I saw them, I said good morning to them, calamari. They always used to look at me as if I was completely mad, and I never understood why. Later in the holiday, someone told me that good morning is in fact calimera, not calamari. I'd been saying squid to them every morning, not good morning, so I'm not surprised they thought I was mad.
File 4A. Pronunciation. 1,
She can sing very well.
2,
I've never been able to ski.
3,
Can you read a map?
4,
You won't be able to go out tomorrow.
5,
He hasn't been able to walk very fast since he hurt his leg.
6.
They aren't able to come tonight.
File 4B. Listening.
Hello and welcome to the Traveller's Guide. Now, last week we asked our British listeners who are going to go abroad to send us their questions about good manners in other countries. And we've invited our resident expert, Ruth Dempsey, to the show to answer them. Welcome to the programme, Ruth.
Thank you.
So, the first question, Ruth. This comes from Katie in Glasgow, who is going to travel around Thailand next summer. Katie wants to know what she should do when she first meets people in Thailand.
Well, Katie, most of the time, a simple handshake will be fine. But if someone gives you a Y, that is a small bow with the hands held together close to the body, you must do the same. But if the person is of lower social status than you, so if they are younger than you or they are a waiter, for example, you shouldn't return the Y.
Very useful advice, Ruth. The next question is from Mark in Liverpool, who is going to Austria with his girlfriend to meet her family for the first time. He asks, Is there anything I should or shouldn't do?
Austrian culture is similar to British culture in a lot of ways, but there are a few differences to remember. Don't be late.
Oh.
If you say you are going to arrive at a particular time, make sure you arrive at that time. Take a gift to give to her parents and some flowers for her mother, but only in odd numbers. So, for example, 9 flowers are okay, but 10 would be considered bad luck.
Oh, that sounds like good advice for you, Mark. Right, our next caller is Julie in Lincoln. She is going to Greece on holiday, but doesn't speak the language. She asks, as I don't speak any Greek, I will be communicating mostly with my hands. Are there any gestures I shouldn't use?
Oh, absolutely, Julie. The most important one to remember is the thumbs up, which in the UK means good or okay, but it is very insulting to a Greek person. Another one is the UK hand gesture for stop, where you show someone your hand with your fingers straight together, like a policeman. But again, this is an insult in Greece.
Good luck, Julie. And we've got time for one more. And this question is from Claire in Swansea. She's going to South Korea for her job, and she would like some tips on business behaviour over there.
The most important thing to remember is that South Koreans like to bow a lot. As a foreigner, you won't be expected to, but it is a good way of showing respect. And the deeper you bow, the happier you are.
Very interesting. Ruth Dempsey, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
And we'll be right back after some music from Rihanna.
File 4B. Pronunciation. B. 1.
Right.
2.
Receipt.
3.
Hour.
4.
Shouldn't.
5.
Exhausted.
6.
Walk.
7.
Could.
8.
Debt.
File 4B. Pronunciation. D. 1.
You shouldn't speak on the phone when you're driving.
2.
You must always wear your seatbelt in the car.
3.
You don't have to wear a uniform.
4.
You mustn't ask for money.
5.
You have to watch out for pickpockets.
6.
You should take a present for them.
File 5A. Listening.
Welcome back to the show. We've been talking about famous sports cheats in today's programme, and now we're going to hear about another scandal. The sport was badminton, and the venue was the 2012 Olympic Games in London. Tom is here to tell us about it. Hi, Tom.
Hello, everybody.
So, who was involved in the scandal, Tom?
Well, the scandal involved 4 of the teams in the women's doubles competition. In total, 8 players were disqualified for cheating. 2 pairs from South Korea, a pair from China, and a pair from Indonesia.
Oh, and what exactly happened?
Well, basically, the teams played badly on purpose to make sure they lost their matches.
Why would they do that?
Well, to explain that, I'll very quickly tell you about how the competition works. The matches are divided into different stages. Teams play against other teams in their group in the first stage, and if they win, they play in the next stage. So sometimes a team might get a good opponent very early in the competition, which means they might not get through to the next stage.
Got it. So when did the cheating happen?
Well, the problem started on the last day of the first stage. In the morning, the first Chinese team won their match, finishing second in their group. The second Chinese team were going to play against a South Korean team that evening, and whoever won that match would be likely to play against the first Chinese team in the next stage.
Why was this a problem?
Neither team wanted to play against the first Chinese team because the South Korean team were sure they would lose, and the second Chinese team didn't want to play against a team from the same country yet because that would mean that only one Chinese team was left to try to win a medal. So both teams tried to lose against each other instead.
How did they do that?
Well, both the South Koreans and the second Chinese team started missing shots. When they served, they either hit the shuttlecock into the net, or they hit it so hard that it went outside the lines on the court. In the end, they looked like amateurs, whereas they were in fact some of the best players in the world.
So, who lost the match?
The second Chinese team. South Korea beat them in both sets.
What about the other two teams?
Well, they tried to do exactly the same thing in the next match.
Which teams were these again?
Indonesia and another South Korean pair.
So, in both matches, the teams tried to lose instead of trying to win so they'd have a better chance of winning a medal. Is that right?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. And it was really obvious, too. All the spectators started booing, it was so bad.
Oh.
After the second match, there was an investigation, and all 8 players were disqualified.
And what about the competition? Did it stop there?
No, it carried on without the disqualified players.
And who won the gold medal in the end?
The first Chinese team.
Ah.
They beat the Japanese team in both sets. It was quite a good match, actually.
Tom, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
File 5A. Pronunciation. B. 1.
Horse, oar, ball, court, warm up, work out.
2.
Bird, first, hurt, sport, world.
3.
Horse, oar, draw, fort, score, slope.
4.
Bird, court, serve, circuit, worse.
File 5B. Listening.
Hello and welcome to the show. Now, a lot of research has been done recently into love, what causes it, and what we do to attract someone. Mary is in the studio with us today, and she's going to explain the results of some of these studies to us. Mary, welcome to the show.
Hello?
Let's start with what you say, Mary. Some people like to start a conversation with a person they like by saying something clever or funny. But how useful is this?
Not very useful at all, I'm afraid, Jeremy. Research shows that only 7% of attraction has anything to do with what you say. It's the tone and the speed of your voice that makes a difference. This makes up 38% of attraction. But the most important thing of all is body language. This contributes to a massive 55% of attraction.
So, what can we do to improve our body language?
Well, it seems that the best way to make the person you're talking to feel attracted to you is to look into their eyes. An American psychologist did an experiment about this in New York. He got complete strangers to stare into each other's eyes for 2 minutes without talking. Afterwards, many of the couples said that they had strong feelings of attraction to each other. And one of the couples even got married.
Really? Staring must be the thing to do then. Is there any more advice on body language?
Well, it's important to have a relaxed body position. You need to show the other person that you are comfortable being with them. Also, try not to be far away from them. Of course, there is a comfortable distance, but try leaning a little closer to them than usual. It will show you're interested and hold their attention better. Don't forget to watch their body language too. If they position their body in a similar way to you, it means they find you interesting too. This is called mirroring.
Is there anything that seems to work well when you're talking to someone you're attracted to?
Not surprisingly, it seems that you're in with a good chance if you smile. Anyone who's ever spoken to someone on the phone will tell you that it's easy to tell when the other person is smiling, because you can hear it in their voice. When talking to a potential partner, a smile will not only affect your tone of voice, keeping it light and fun, but it will also show the other person that you are happy to be with them. And don't forget that a smile is extremely contagious, and before long, the other person will be smiling back at you. This will make them feel happier, a feeling which they will quickly connect with you.
How interesting, and very true. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for now, Mary, but thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
File 5B. Pronunciation. A. 1.
Where did you used to live?
2.
Did you used to wear glasses?
3.
They used to have a lot of money.
4.
He used to go to my school.
5.
We used to work together.
6.
You used to have long hair.
7.
We didn't used to get on.
8.
I didn't used to like it.
File 5B. Pronunciation. C. 1.
Snake. See. Friends. Most. Social.
2.
Zebra. Z. Eyes. Easy. Especially. Nowadays.
3.
Shower. Tissue. Please. Sure. Sugar.
4.
Television. J. Usually. Pleasure. Decision. Music.
File 6A. Listening.
Hello and welcome to the James Bond Tour of London. My name's Colin Granger and I'm going to be your guide today. Now, the tour lasts for about 3 hours and when we've finished we'll drop you off back here. That'll be at about 4 o'clock. We're going to start at the birthplace of the man behind the character of James Bond. That's the author, Ian Fleming. Does anyone know where exactly Ian Fleming was born? No? Well, he was born at 27 Green Street, in one of the richest districts of London, called Mayfair. So, that's where we're going to go first, to the house where Ian Fleming was born. After that, we're going to drive past the club that Fleming used during the war. I'll point it out to you when we get to it. Then, we're going to go to the Bentley showroom that Fleming often used to visit. Fleming loved luxury cars, and his favourite car, the Bentley, is still sold there today. After that, we're going to make our way to the casino that inspired the first James Bond novel. Do you know which one that was? Oh yes, that's right. It was Casino Royale. After the casino, we'll visit the headquarters of the British Secret Service, commonly known as MI6, and which features in many of the James Bond movies. This is an enormous building next to Vauxhall Bridge, which is a bridge over the River Thames. You'll remember this bridge as it appears in the 2012 Bond movie Skyfall. We won't stop there for long, because it might look a bit suspicious. After that, we're going to see two other famous locations from the James Bond films. First, we're going to go to the place where an amusing scene for the film The World Is Not Enough was shot. It's when James Bond is in a boat and he's being chased by another boat. He comes to a bend in the river, but he's going too fast. There are two women standing in the road when he turns the corner, but he can't stop. The women are traffic wardens who are putting parking fines on cars. As he goes past, James Bond splashes the traffic wardens with water from the river. They both get really wet. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
The final location we're going to visit is the Four Seasons Hotel in Canary Wharf. This is where they shot the swimming pool scene from Skyfall, where Daniel Craig as 007 is swimming in a luxury hotel pool at night. It's supposed to be Shanghai, but they shot it here in London. We're going to finish our tour back in Mayfair at the Duke's Hotel. This is where two of the actors who have played James Bond came to celebrate their success. That's Sean Connery in 1962 and Pierce Brosnan in 1995. So, let's get going then and head for our first stop, 27 Green Street, the birthplace of Ian Fleming.
File 6A. Pronunciation A. 1.
The film is based on a true story.
2.
These scenes will be filmed on location.
3.
The actor has been nominated for an Oscar.
4.
The script was written by the author of the novel.
5.
The sequel is going to be released next week.
6.
The costumes are being made by hand.
File 6A. Pronunciation C. 1.
Audience.
2.
Historical film.
3.
Comedy.
4.
Director.
5.
Drama.
6.
Horror film.
7.
Review.
8.
Sequel.
9.
Soundtrack.
10.
Subtitles.
File 6B. Listening.
Hello and welcome to today's programme. Have you ever wondered how women made themselves look beautiful in the past? We've got our beauty expert, Olivia Johnson, with us today, and she's going to tell us all about beauty through the ages. Olivia, where are you going to start?
Well, I'm going to start with the Egyptians. But it wasn't only the women that used cosmetics at this time. Both Egyptian men and women loved their cosmetics. We know that from the paintings and the powders they left behind. The women wore a powder on their faces to make it lighter, and they painted a big black line around their eyes to make them look bigger. Men put a cream made of fat and oil and other substances on their face to protect it from the sun. A very early version of sunblock. Egyptian kings and queens also put colourful powders around their eyes. Their favourite colour was green, which they got from a mineral called malachite.
How interesting! Who are you going to tell us about next?
let's move on to the ancient Greeks, shall we? Cosmetics were an important part of their life too. The ancient Greek idea of beauty was very pale skin, blonde hair, and natural makeup. For them, pale skin was a sign of beauty and wealth. The women used a powder made out of a metal called lead to make their faces look lighter.
You mean lead? The lead that used to be in the pipes carrying water in our houses?
That's right.
Oh, but lead is poisonous.
Yes, it is. And the ancient Greeks knew lead was poisonous, but it was so important for them to be beautiful that they used it on their face and, of course, it made them ill.
I can't believe they used lead on their faces. Anyway, who's next on the list?
The Romans. They were absolutely obsessed with beauty. A Roman philosopher once wrote, "A woman without paint is like food without salt." So it's clear that they really believed that women should wear a lot of makeup. The Romans believed that pink on the cheeks was a sign of good health, but they did not apply the makeup themselves. Instead, they used their slaves to put on their creams and powders.
So, the slaves were like modern beauty therapists then?
Yes, I suppose you could say that.
I think I prefer putting on my own makeup. Olivia Johnson, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
File 6B. Pronunciation B. 1.
Bike. Eye. Bite. Smile. Height. Weight.
2.
Train. A. Face. Great. Eyes. Taste.
3.
Phone. O. Nose. Tongue. Throw. Toes.
4.
Owl. Ow. Sound. Crowd. Mouth. Shoulders.
5.
Chair. Air. Hair. Hear. Stare. Wear.
6.
Ear. Ear. Appearance. Beard. Fair. Serious.
File 7A. Listening.
And now on to last night's TV. The highlight for me was a new series on Channel 4 called The Unteachables. It's a kind of reality show that aims to find out if it's really true that there are pupils who cannot be taught. Last night we were introduced to the pupils. There are 16 of them altogether, and they're all 14 years old. They've all been expelled from schools at least once, and their teachers think they're impossible to teach. Watching the pupils on last night's programme, it isn't hard to see why. We see the group during their introductory weekend at the study camp, when they meet each other for the first time. At one point, one of the boys warns that he might set fire to the building. You couldn't imagine how their teacher was going to teach them. And that's where 40-year-old Philip Beadle comes in. Beadle used to be a rock musician, but he gave up music at the age of 32 to become a teacher. Since then, he has had a very successful career in education. His greatest achievement was when he worked at a school in the centre of London, where there were a lot of problems. He worked really hard, and he got the best English results that the school had ever seen. all of his class passed their exam, half of them with top marks. But let me get back to the programme. In Beadle's first class, he manages to help the pupils learn to trust him by playing a game with the children. In the game, Beadle and the pupils point at each other and say an insult. This might not seem very educational, but Beadle had the attention of all the pupils, and everybody was taking part. And that was the aim of the game. You might think that Beadle's teaching methods are quite unusual, and you'd be right. At one point on last night's programme, he took the pupils to the countryside. They found a field with cows in it, and he made them read poems and plays by Shakespeare to the cows. Remember that these are children who refuse to read in front of other people in a classroom. In another scene, they are in a different field, learning about punctuation. Beadle teaches this by moving about the class and shouting the names of the types of punctuation. The pupils learn by copying him, and it looks like great fun. By the end of the first episode, the pupils are starting to accept their new teacher. Some of them even say he's all right. I really enjoyed the Unteachables, and I really want to know what happens next. If, like me, you are fascinated by the experiment, you'll watch the next episode at the same time next Wednesday. Personally, I can't wait.
File 7A. Pronunciation B. 1.
Boot, ooh, lunch, fruit, scooter, true.
2.
Up, couple, muscles, pull, tongue.
3.
Bull, cut, full, push, put.
4.
You, music, stupid, subtitles, tuna.
File 7B. Listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I have your attention, please? Thank you. And welcome to Shakespeare's birthplace in Henley Street. We start our tour here, in the garden of the house. Look at the trees, plants, and flowers all around you. All of them were mentioned by Shakespeare in his plays. Now, this is also the perfect place to look closely at the outside of the house. It was probably built sometime in the early 16th century, as we can see from the style of the house. The walls are made of wood and clay, and the house has 2 floors. This house was Shakespeare's home from when he was born until he was 33, which means that much of his life took place here. He was born in 1564 and spent all of his childhood here. He got married in 1582, and his wife, Anne Hathaway, came to live with him here after they got married. And all 3 of their children were born here. So you see, the house played an extremely important role in Shakespeare's life. Now, as you're walking through the house, I'd like you to pay special attention to the windows. Many famous people have visited Shakespeare's birthplace, and in the past, they were allowed to write their names on the glass. See if you can recognise any of the signatures. There are a lot of famous ones, from Charles Dickens to Winston Churchill. Right, if you'd like to come this way then, please. We're going to start on the ground floor, and the first room we're going to visit is the Great Hall. Are you all in? Well, as you can see, the name of this room, the Great Hall, is a bit of an exaggeration, actually. As you can see, it's not particularly big. In the 16th century, a hall meant a room, rather than what it means today. However, the fact that the house had a hall at all shows that the Shakespeare family were quite wealthy. This is where the whole family came to eat the main meal of the day together. The furniture is as it probably was in Shakespeare's time. If you look at the fireplace over there, you can see the kind of things that the family used for cooking. Now, we're going to walk to a room at the back of the house, which was used by Shakespeare's father. Please, follow me. Now, Shakespeare's father, John, was a glover, which means he made gloves. He owned his own company, which is where the family got their money from, as the company was quite successful. This room is where he made the gloves. When you're ready, we'll go back to the Great Hall and climb the original staircase. At the top is the room where William Shakespeare, the greatest English writer of all time, was born.
File 7B. Pronunciation. A. 1.
If I did more exercise, I'd be a lot healthier.
2.
I'd grow my own vegetables if I had a garden.
3.
Would you buy a cottage if you had enough money?
4.
If it were my house, I would make the kitchen bigger.
5.
I wouldn't work so hard if I didn't have to pay so much rent.
File 7B. Pronunciation. D. 1.
Cosy. Kitchen.
2.
Ceiling. Basement.
3.
Country. Suburb.
4.
Town. Ground.
5.
Spacious. Shower.
6.
Terrace. Steps.
File 8A. Listening.
Hi, Graham. How was your trip to Spain?
It was great, thanks. But the flight was awful. In fact, I've just made a complaint to the airline.
What was the problem?
Well, as you know, some low-cost airlines don't give you a seat number when you check in, which means that there's always a mad rush to get on the plane. I find all this so annoying that I usually pay for speedy boarding. You know, when you pay extra to get on the plane first. You just get in the queue when they call the flight, and then they tell the passengers with speedy boarding to come to the front, and you get on the plane first.
So, what went wrong?
Well, on the flight out to Madrid, I was sitting at the gate waiting to be called to board first, and nothing happened. I don't know if they forgot about speedy boarding or what, but they didn't call us to the front of the queue. That meant I had to board the plane with everyone else. In fact, I was one of the last to get on. As you can imagine, I wasn't very pleased.
So, what did you do?
I emailed the airline explaining what had happened. I told them that I had paid for speedy boarding on both of my flights, but I'd only received the service on one of them. I asked them, very politely, to give back the money I had paid for the speedy boarding. It was about £10 at the time. That's about €12.
Did you get a response?
Yes, I did actually. They replied quite quickly.
And did they give you your money back?
Well, no, they didn't. I had a very nice message from a man in customer services saying he was sorry that this had happened, but he didn't mention giving me a refund.
Oh, typical. They never do they?
But wait a minute. I haven't finished the story yet.
Oh, go on then.
Well, I spoke to a colleague in Madrid, and he said something similar had happened to him. He said not to give up and send them another email. So I did, but this time the tone was much stronger and less polite. And it worked. They refunded the money I had spent on the speedy boarding ticket and gave me a 50% discount on my next flight with them.
Oh, that's great.
File 8A. Pronunciation. B. 1,
Bargain. Mountain. Trainers.
2,
Certain. Complain. Rain.
3,
Painting. Said. Wait.
4,
Airline. Fare. Railway.
5,
Captain. Plane. Email.
6,
Brain. Hair. Stairs.
File 8B. Listening. Speaker 1.
When I was about 15, I got a part-time job in a supermarket. The job was in the cash office, so I had quite a lot of responsibility. I had to collect the money from the tills, count it, and put it in the safe for the security people to collect the next morning. I was still at school at the time, so I worked for a couple of hours on a Friday evening and all day on Saturdays. At Christmas, I did more hours because I had more time and there were more customers. The girls in the office were great fun, so the job wasn't boring at all. I did it for about 3 years, until I left because I needed more time to study for my final exams at school.
Speaker 2.
I studied German at university, and at the end of my first year I went to Germany to practice my German. I found a job in a restaurant almost as soon as I arrived. The job was washing dishes, which I thought was going to be easy. Unfortunately, I was wrong. There was a machine in the kitchen that washed the plates and glasses and things like that, but my job was to clean the pots and pans that the chef had used. The saucepans were always completely black, and it used to take me hours to get everything clean. I didn't enjoy working there very much, and I was really happy when I had learnt enough German so that I could stop working there.
Speaker 3.
I don't know if you can call this a job, but I did get paid for it, even if it was only £5. When I was a teenager, I used to look after my cousins when my aunt and uncle wanted to go out. The children were a lot younger than me, so I had to babysit for them. I didn't do it every weekend, but it was probably about once a month. My uncle used to pick me up at about 7 and take me back to their house. I had to bath the children, give them their dinner, and play with them for an hour or so before they went to bed. They were no trouble at all to look after, and I absolutely loved being with them.
Speaker 4.
My dad's a painter, and so the summer after I finished school, I went to help him for a few weeks. At the time, my dad's company had a contract to paint all the exterior doors and windows of some houses on a new estate. The weather was great, not too hot and not too cold, so I didn't really mind it. The work was quite tiring because I spent most of the day climbing up and down a ladder, but I earned quite a lot of money that summer. But the best thing was spending some time with my dad and his mates. We had a really good laugh.
Speaker 5.
One of the first jobs I ever did was in a food processing company in Manchester. I was a student at the time, and I needed a temporary job during the holidays. Fortunately, the job was only for 2 weeks because it was really unpleasant. The worst day was when we were packaging hamburgers. I had to stand on the production line and count the burgers into groups of 5. Later, someone further down the line put the burgers in a box. The problem was that the burgers were frozen and we weren't allowed to use gloves. This meant that I had to pick up the ice-cold burgers with my hands. I've never had such cold fingers in all my life.
File 8B. Pronunciation. B. 1,
Apply.
2,
Employment.
3,
Farmer.
4,
Lawyer.
5,
Musician.
6,
Overtime.
7,
Permanent.
8,
Promotion.
9,
Qualify.
10,
Redundant.
11,
Resign.
12,
Retire.
13,
Salary.
14,
Temporary.
15.
Unemployed.
File 9A. Listening. Speaker 1.
I know a lot of people who are superstitious when they see somebody standing on top of a ladder in the street and they don't want to walk underneath it. Actually, I'm one of those people. Walking under the ladder is supposed to give you bad luck, so I never do it. Whenever I come across a ladder, I always walk around it, even if I have to walk out into the road. Come to think of it, that's probably worse than walking under the ladder, because I could get hit by a car, but there's no way that I would ever walk under the ladder.
Speaker 2.
I don't know if any other countries have this superstition, but where I live, you have to be very careful when you buy a new pair of shoes. Apparently, it's bad luck to put the shoes on your dining room table. This goes back to something that people did in the past when somebody died. In fact, it was the families of miners in the north of England who originally did this. The family always bought new clothes to dress the dead person in, and this included buying new shoes. So, if you leave your new shoes on the table, some people think that this could bring bad luck.
Speaker 3.
In England and Ireland, some people are very superstitious about going up or down the stairs. If you're going down the stairs, it's bad luck to pass someone who is coming up the stairs, and the same thing happens the other way round. Someone once told me the reason for this. A long time ago, people carried swords, so you had to be very careful of the people around you. If somebody passed you on the stairs, you couldn't see them because they were behind you. That meant that they could turn round and kill you with their sword without you realising.
Speaker 4.
Some people say that if you open an umbrella in the house, it will rain on you, i.e., you'll have bad luck. Personally, I would never open an umbrella inside my house. To start with, it's pretty impractical because umbrellas are quite big. Also, they're pretty dangerous, and it's quite easy to knock something over and break it with an umbrella. I suppose that's why umbrellas are associated with bad luck, really, because things have gone wrong in the past.
Speaker 5.
Here in Germany, if someone has an exam or is going for a job interview, we wrap the fingers of our right hand around our thumb and say, "I'm holding my thumb for you." I have some Brazilian friends who, when they wish people luck, make a similar sign, but they push their thumb between their first two fingers. Maybe the two are connected in some way. I know that in England, people cross their fingers and say, "Fingers crossed," when they wish people luck, which is quite similar.
File 9A. Pronunciation. 1.
We would have got to the cinema on time if we'd taken a taxi.
2.
If you'd told me about the meeting, I would have gone.
3.
She would have bought the coat if it hadn't been so expensive.
4.
If I'd known you were driving, I wouldn't have called.
5.
If they hadn't played so badly in the second half, they would have won the match.
6.
The flight would have been cheaper if we'd booked last month.
File 9B. Listening.
Good afternoon. Can I help you?
Oh, hello, yes. I need to ask you about Wi-Fi access in the hotel. I've got some work to do while I'm here, so I'm going to need an internet connection.
Well, there's a Wi-Fi hotspot in the lobby of the hotel, and all of the rooms have Wi-Fi.
Great. And how much does it cost?
It's free in the lobby, but we charge for the Wi-Fi access in the rooms. Are you interested in our standard connection, or would you prefer our advanced service?
What's the difference?
The standard service is available for a flat fee of £5 per day. However, it can be a bit slow because everyone in the hotel uses it. We have a higher level service for our guests who need a faster and more reliable connection.
And how much is that?
It's 5 pence per minute.
That could get quite expensive if I use it all evening.
Not really, sir. The maximum charge is £20 for 24 hours.
I see. So how would that work? Would I have to pay £20 today and another £20 tomorrow?
No. The 24-hour period begins from when you checked in.
Great. I'd like the advanced service then. Oh, and one more question. What do I need to log on to your Wi-Fi?
Just a moment. Could you give me your name and room number?
It's Gray. Barry Gray. I'm in room 302.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Here's your Wi-Fi pack, which has the name of the connection here, and here's your password. Please try and keep it safe so that nobody else can use it. You checked in at 3:10 today, so the connection will last until the same time tomorrow afternoon.
Great. Is that all I need then?
Yes, it is.
Thanks a lot for your help.
You're welcome.
File 9B. Pronunciation. B. 1.
Horse. Or. Brought. Cough. Thought.
2.
Up. Although. Enough. Tough.
3.
Horse. Or. Bought. Daughter. Through.
4.
Horse. Or. Caught. Laughed. Taught.
File 10A. Listening.
Welcome back to the show. Now, a new exhibition opens today at the Science Museum, and all of the exhibits are everyday objects that we couldn't live without. Charlotte Heath, who has been to the exhibition, is with us today to tell us more about it. Welcome to the show, Charlotte.
Thank you.
So what sort of objects can you see in the exhibition? Are we talking about modern gadgets like smartphones and tablet computers here?
No, not at all. This exhibition is all about the little or important things we have in our house and use every day. We use them so much that we've probably forgotten or don't even realise that someone actually invented them.
Such as?
Well, a good example is the container we use to keep food in, the tin can. But I bet you don't know how it was invented.
No, I don't.
Well, there's a very interesting story behind it. It was the French leader, Napoleon Bonaparte, who was responsible for this one. In 1809, he was very worried about how to feed all his soldiers when they were away from home, and so he organised a competition to try to get ideas for how to solve the problem. The first prize was 12,000 francs, and the competition was won by a French chef who had the idea of using glass jars to store food. A year later, a British manufacturer, Peter Durand, improved the design by using thin sheets of metal to make the container, which became what we now call a tin. The only problem was that he used lead in the tin, which, as you know, is poisonous. Several people died after eating food from his tins.
How unfortunate. Now, Charlotte, we've got time for one more story before the news headlines.
Right. I'll tell you about the tea bag then. In the past, if you wanted to buy tea, then you had to buy the leaves in a big box. To make a drink of tea, you would put the leaves in water, and you would often find small pieces of tea leaves at the bottom of your cup. Anyway, in 1908, an American tea salesman called Thomas Sullivan had the bright idea of putting the tea in very small bags to give to his customers to try. Sullivan thought that customers would take the tea out of the bags in order to try it, but some of the customers didn't. They found it more convenient to put the bag into hot water without actually opening it. So, tea bags weren't really invented by a company. It was the tea drinkers who came up with the idea.
What an incredible story. And the Everyday Inventions exhibition is on at the Science Museum until Sunday the 25th of July, Charlotte. Is that right?
Yes. The museum is open from 10 to 6 every day, so you've got no excuse not to go.
Thanks for joining us, Charlotte. And now it's time for the news headlines with Sean Gibson.
File 10A. Pronunciation B. 1,
Boarding pass.
2,
Cash machine.
3,
Memory stick.
4,
Parking fine.
5,
Ringtone.
6,
Speed camera.
7,
Tennis court.
8.
Tube map.
File 10B. Listening.
The next morning, when my servant Paddock arrived, I introduced him to Captain Digby. I explained that the captain was an important man in the army, but he had been working too hard and needed rest and quiet. Then I went out, leaving them both in the flat. When I returned, about lunchtime, the doorman told me that the gentleman in flat 15 had killed himself. I went up to the top floor, had a few words with the police, and was able to report to Scudder that his plan had been successful. The police believed that the dead man was Scudder and that he had killed himself. Scudder was very pleased. For the first 2 days in my flat, he was very calm and spent all his time reading and smoking and writing in a little black notebook. But after that, he became more restless and nervous. It was not his own danger that he worried about, but the success of his plan to prevent the murder of Carolides. One night, he was very serious.
Listen, Hannay,
he said.
I think I must tell you some more about this business. I would hate to get killed without leaving someone else to carry on with my plan.
I didn't listen very carefully. I was interested in Scudder's adventures, but I wasn't very interested in politics. I remember that he said Carolides was only in danger in London. He also mentioned a woman called Julia Czechenyi. The next evening I had to go out. I was meeting a man I had known in Africa for dinner. When I returned to the flat, I was surprised to see that the study light was out. I wondered if Scudder had gone to bed early. I turned on the light, but there was nobody there. Then I saw something in the corner that made my blood turn cold. Scudder was lying on his back. There was a long knife through his heart, pinning him to the floor.
File 10B. Pronunciation A. 1,
You called me last night, didn't you?
2,
He's older than you, isn't he?
3,
They aren't coming, are they?
4,
We've missed the bus, haven't we?
5,
She'll be late, won't she?
6,
I can't dance very well, can I?
File 10B. Pronunciation C. 1,
Bird. Murder. Weren't. Hurt.
2,
Boot. Ooh. Prove. Brutal. Truth.
3,
Up. Suspect. Discover. Suddenly.